Willie, thank you for coming back. We were just talking to you about the Charlotte story, and now here we are. What would be your understanding? Well, actually, before I get to that question, what are your first thoughts about this, or what was your reaction personally when you heard about this?
Well, the first thing I noticed right away is that the lack of law enforcement presence. And so I actually did start doing some research on that, and they did have multiple threats prior to this event. As a matter of fact, there were students and other people protesting, wanting this event to be taken care of off campus. And I just can't believe or understand the logic of not having additional law enforcement support. There were no bag checks, no checkpoints, no metal detector, no nothing, considering all the threats. And we know that Charlie has, he debates, and he's not afraid to have those tough conversations with people who don't believe in what he believes in. And so with the threats and everything else, I was just surprised that this occurred.
So that was going to kind of be my question before I diverted myself. We think we know what security would look like, let's say, at a presidential event, or even an event by a presidential candidate. Is your understanding that this kind of security, or this kind of event rather, has much, much less security? And is it your belief that it should have more?
Without a doubt. I mean, he's not an elected official, so they tend to get a little complacent, and he doesn't have the resources himself personally, the resources that,
Right.
An elected official like the president would have. But the campus responsibility is to protect not just the person that's speaking, but also the people who are attending. And that, in my opinion, was not done. I'm hearing now that the suspect is still at large, that the shot was possibly taken 200 yards away, but possibly on the rooftop, which that leads me to believe that this person was experienced in shooting that rifle. To hit that target right where they did at 200 yards away, one shot, this person was experienced, whether they're prior military, prior law enforcement, or somebody who is a gun fanatic that knows how to gauge these rifles and know how fast that round is going to drop before it hits their target.
Do you anticipate that there will be fewer or a rethinking of going out and doing events like this? Because, as you just said, the people who do them they can't snap their fingers and have the Secret Service, right? So how do you split the difference between, well, I'm not going to have maybe every component of security that I would like, but I'm going to have more than he had. I'm going to have more than I used to have. Does that call for pausing these things, or does that call for immediately doing them differently, or can you immediately do them differently? I mean, I know this is your business, so I think you're the right person to ask.
I think without a doubt, it's going to cause people to pause and consider venue, indoor, outdoor types of locations, and also hiring additional private security themselves. Unfortunately, I think it's going to cause a pause. I just hope that it doesn't stop, because the message that he provides to the people to listen to, and the conversations and the debates are critical for our youth and for everyone else that listens to them.
Yeah.
It's sad, Jack, and we've talked about this. It's very sad that there's no more, let's have a conversation. There's no more, let's have a debate. There's no more, let's sit at the table, agree to disagree. It's filled with hatred. If you're on one side of the aisle and they don't like what you're saying, there's hatred. And social media feeds into that. And I think some elected officials feed into that. We saw that when they were encouraging people to harass elected officials at the restaurant, go to their homes and harass them and be loud.
Right.
But yet they're the same ones who say there's no room for political violence. Well, you say that as a soundbite, But it fits your narrative or your agenda, then you're okay with it.
Yeah, the words are the easy part. The action and the reversal of this trend that we're on is going to be that will tell us what we need to know. We'll see in the coming days if people think they can just pay lip service to the idea or really act on it. And Willie Ng, I always appreciate you, and you're a great friend, and thank you for coming on with us today. We appreciate it.
God bless you, Jack.
Willie Ng, Blue Armor Security is his company.